The New York Jets get their first win of the season. They will not go 0-17. I'm Ryan Sampson. Frankie. This is the Gangs on Here post-game live show. The Jets win 39-38 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Welcome to all you fans, as always, for joining in here. We love you guys coming in here. This is going to be a much more positive, uplifting episode today on what really was a horrible start to this day today for the New York Jets, which we're going to touch on in a second. They come out with an awesome win for their first of Aaron Glenn's NFL career. So credit to the New York Jets, credit to this football team. This was awesome to see. And ultimately, you got to be excited that the New York Jets get their first win. Frankie, how you feeling after the Jets getting their first up?
My man, pots and pans, man. I'm ready to go. I am feeling so damn good. Was a little bit under the weather this weekend. This game, man, uplifted me so much, man. I know there's a bunch of fans out there that wanted the team to go 0-17. We're looking at draft position. You needed a win today. You did. Aaron Glenn needed a win. Justin Fields and the offense needed a win. Breece Hall needed a win. Everyone out there needed a win. It was refreshing to see a team led by the offense the whole game. Let's give them basically all the credit today. They came out and they put together an offensive masterpiece. That's what I'm referring it to, right? It was an offensive masterpiece. Really was. It was great to see Justin Fields, who we didn't even know was going to start until yesterday, come in and just put together an offensive game plan around what Tanner Engstrand wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
They were connecting on all cylinders, man, everywhere. You had great plays on fourth down. You that play to Jeremy Rucker, which we all loved, faking that down block and then, going on that little cross across the middle. I mean, they did so many unique things today offensively. Everyone was involved. Isaiah Davis was involved. Breece Hall was involved. Isaiah Williams was super involved today. You gave him a reverse for 25 yards in the game. Isaiah Davis had a 50-yard run. Mason Taylor scored a touchdown. I mean, what a great offensive day for the New York Jets. And it gives me a lot of hope with the offensive coordinator specifically moving forward.
Yeah, look, I know you're a big fan of Tanner Engstrand. This was a great showing for him on a game that a lot of people had doubt about him and Justin Fields. This week has been a crazy one, which is typical for the New York Jets, starting with Woody Johnson absolutely throwing his quarterback under the bus by saying, I just wish we could complete a pass, giving pretty much an excuse to Aaron Glenn and the 0-7 start that, any head coach that has a quarterback start like this and play like this, it's going to be tough to win football games. By the way, Woody's not wrong with what he's saying. He was right. You just don't do it publicly. Aaron Glenn kind of dissing the media and saying, look, Woody didn't say that. He wasn't meaning that. Kind of agreeing with Woody and what he was saying. And then Justin saying, I didn't hear the comments until the media told him about the comments. We are hearing Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter and Glenn wants to go to Tyrod and bench Justin Fields. And they're going to move off Justin Fields to be the starter here for the next couple of weeks because they haven't scored a touchdown in 2 games. And then we get the injury news on Tyrod Taylor yesterday, that he is actually more banged up than they let on. And it's going to be Justin starting. And then Justin comes in today and wasn't great to start, but like Frankie said, they finally found some rhythm on the offensive side of the ball. 254 yards passing, 248 yards passing, 254 yards rushing, a very balanced attack from this Jets team. This Bengals defense got shredded by the run game. Breece Hall was incredible, had the game of his season this year. This looked like rookie Breece Hall today. You just gave him the ball and let him make some moves. Isaiah Davis, I thought, was really good. But look, what a wild week for the Jets. And credit again goes to Aaron Glenn and this coaching staff battling, being aggressive early on fourth down. It didn't work out early on. Really terrible call in the beginning. I think Fields checks out of that play into a halfback toss instead of the quarterback sneak. You really are like, oh boy, this is not going to be pretty. But again, credit has to go. The Jets were down 24-13, Frankie, at halftime. And you're thinking, okay, they're getting the ball second half. What are they going to do here? They don't score they only score a field goal. They don't score a touchdown, but they score 23 points in the fourth quarter. How about that for offense?
Wow.
You got to really be excited, though, the fact that this offense finally did something today. So, look, I want to keep going on this offense and this win, but I think we got to start on this other part here, which is really, really sad today, because I really do think that the Jets were motivated to win this game today. I think they wanted to get it for Aaron Glenn, but the biggest thing that happened this morning was Jets legend, Nick Mangold, a guy that I had loved growing up. I'm sure Frankie fell in love with this guy growing up, watching him play center for the Jets, a homegrown talent, was a stud at Ohio State, passed away at the age of 41 today. And we got that news. And it was sudden. It was not expected to happen this soon. We had gotten the news a couple weeks ago that Nick was looking for a kidney, and he was looking for a donor, and unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse for him, and just absolutely gut wrenching, devastating news. If you're a Jets fan, and really anyone of a human being, you're talking about a 41-year-old man passing away due to kidney disease. This sucks anytime you see something like this, and I feel for him and his family. I feel for Jets Nation because this guy was like a hero to some of us growing up because he was so damn good. 7-time Pro Bowler, and an all-time Jet. Ring of Honor member. I'm hoping they retire his number after this. But your thoughts, Frankie, on the news of Nick Mangold passing away today?
Yeah, man, it was awful. It was really, really bad, man. Sort of unexpected, I think, too. A few weeks ago, we heard about him looking for a donor for a kidney transplant, and I was texting you. Maybe that was semi an act of desperation. Maybe he was in that tough of a spot right there, which maybe we didn't realize at the time. So you could imagine what his family was going through during this time period. And leaving 4 kids behind, it's tough, man. Every time Nick Mangold spoke, it energized me, or I could feel the guy. He was just such an honest person. The teammates loved him. Look at what the reaction is on social media with Nick. So yeah, it's something with life, man. It gets cut short for some great people at times. Nothing, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So yeah, it was rough. Prayers out to him and his family. And I was telling you too, we're gonna maybe plan something for our draft event, and if he has a foundation or he's going to put a foundation together, we'll see all that we can do for people going through kidney issues. I know Nick at U Stadium, I was telling you, went through some stuff last year similarly. So yeah, it's important to take care of your health, and it gets overlooked sometimes in the scheme of sports and entertainment, etc.
Yeah. It's not easy. I'm just going to leave it with this, man. Nick Mangold is an all-time Jet, all-time great. I hope he's a Hall of Famer. He should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. It was just a pleasure to watch him as a professional and a human being be a homegrown Jet. He loved the Jets from all accounts, and it really set the tone for today, and it just makes me so heart. My heart is so warm right now that the Jets were able to get this win. And I think Aaron Glenn and that whole locker room know that Nick Mangold was a huge figure in Jets Nation and Jets fandom, and for this organization also. It's just awesome that they got this win today, and we're gonna miss Nick. I'm just telling you right now, you're gonna miss Nick for a long time. That guy was a diehard gang green. Like, he loved this franchise and wanted to see them win no matter what.
And it was a miracle today, Ryan, that we won this game. If you really want to talk about miracles in sports, I mean, Cincinnati at a point in the fourth quarter with 9 and change left, they were up 38-24, and they had a 97.5% chance to win the game. I mean, we haven't had that drastic of a comeback in years, so that was as miraculous of a win as you'll see on a Sunday afternoon. So shout outs to the Jets, and we wish all the best for Nick and everyone associated with him.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to Nick Mangold's family. Everyone, please send them your best wishes right now. This is not easy for them to go through as a family. Losing someone so young like Nick Mangold at 41 years old, true legend. But I do have to spin it somehow to the Jets winning this game. I mean, Frankie, how about Justin Fields here? Let's talk about this. Let's focus on his game today. A guy who got criticized by the owner, called out, saying, I wish we could just complete a pass, and that my head coach cannot win a football game if he's playing quarterback like this, or any quarterback plays like this. He played his best game of the season. I know he had week 1. I think today he looked calm, poised. I know he held the ball sometimes, but like he looked the best in my opinion today, considering Garrett Wilson was not in this game.
Yep.
I think that's damn impressive what Justin Fields was able to do today.
Man, he didn't get sacked today. He didn't throw a pick today. He hasn't thrown a pick all season. No turnovers we had on offense today. Fields really ran that offense beautifully today. You saw him even on these swing passes. He was hitting guys in the flats. He was hitting guys across the middle. He was pretty damn accurate today. Had a few balls that were fluttering, but overall, I mean, that touchdown pass that he had to Tyler Johnson in the corner there in that post corner, I mean, that's as good of with pressure in his face. I mean, that was an unblocked defender there. Got right in his face. He stood strong in the pocket. When Justin Fields plays with confidence and Tanner Engstrand and that offense is able to hum like they were today, you're going to have performances like this. You are. Now, since he's got one of the worst defenses in football, so let's not necessarily get ahead of ourselves here. I know there's going to be fans now saying, bring Fields back next year. He should be the starter. I'm just
yeah.
But today was the type of performance that it gives me so much confidence in the offense run by Tanner Engstrand. And I'm going to repeat it again and again. I know people get annoyed because I love Tanner Engstrand. I know you get annoyed with it. But Tanner Engstrand's a big-time offensive coordinator. Big time. So
I'm not ready to go there yet.
I'm ready to go there. I'm ready to go there.
So right, you said it in both. You're speaking kind of both out of both sides here because you said
a little bit.
Bengals defense is really bad, and then the offense is doing really good.
Do that though, Rye, with Justin Fields and Tyler Johnson as your wide receiver one. I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. That's
200. Listen,
I don't care who the defense.
248 yards passing between them. Between him and Brees, who had a nice 4-yard touchdown pass. I think Brees. How about that touchdown pass, Brees, man? The game-winning touchdown to Mason Taylor. The guy, Brees, who you've criticized his running style, throws an absolutely perfect ball in the corner of the end zone and puts it up in a spot where Mason Taylor mosses the Bengals defender. I mean, that's a guy, too, and Mason Taylor, who you've critiqued that pick and you were not a fan of. How about that combo, putting that game-winning touchdown together and that play call, too?
No, that was great. That was great. Listen, you know what? I'll say Mason Taylor's looked pretty dang good. He's got good hands there, that kid. And Brees Hall looked fantastic today. And I think with a game like that, if the Jets do want to trade Brees, I wouldn't. But if they do, you're not going to get better film than what he put out there today. 18 carries, 133 yards, 7.4 yards to carry, right? 2 touchdowns on the ground, a passing touchdown. Brees looked awesome, man. And this is what we were looking forward to after week 1 with this Jets offense that maybe we could see. And we haven't seen it since week 1. And arguably this was their best performance, over 500 total yards on the day.
Wow.
Over
first,
250.
I think that was the first 500-yard offensive game they've had since the Mike White game, to believe it or not, against the Bengals.
You're right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
On the road. We did this on the road.
They did this on the road, Frankie. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and to go back to Justin Fields and wrap the bow of him, the part of him today. Look, the 2-point conversion run was awesome. The Jets went for 2 multiple times. He also converted the second time, the 2-point conversion to Isaiah Davis. What did you make of the fact that the Jets went for 2 twice early and puts them in a spot where the extra point at the end ultimately was the winner for them?
I was against that last 2-point try. I thought it was just overboard to a degree. I didn't have confidence in them pulling it off. They barely pulled it off, literally by a centimeter. But
great catch by Davis.
Excellent catch. Excellent extension of the play by Justin Fields, too, on that. He waited till the last second he could and threw it the only place he could at the time. That was probably his best play of the game, honestly, if you want to look at it. I mean, that was the winner right there. So, listen, shout outs to Aaron Glenn. You want to be aggressive. You're going to have calls like that, and us fans are going to be like, what the heck are you doing, man? And then you prove us wrong like he did there. So the more that he proves us wrong with stuff like this, the more confidence we're going to have in the guy. Now, I'm not anywhere more confident today than I was yesterday, but little things like that, you start building back trust with the fans. You do. So shout outs to him for going for it there, because I wouldn't have. And the announcers even said it themselves, right? They said, I'm not going for it there. Down 8 points, just take the extra point, go down 7, and then, you could tie the game. Why put your offense in a predicament if they do score it? They can only tie it up or lose the game. But shout outs to him and that call and Justin Fields for making that happen, and Isaiah Davis for making a really, really tough catch, barely in, and that basically won us the game, Ryan.
It really did. And look, I think you have to give Aaron Glenn's clearly going to be aggressive here. You could see some of his style here, going for it early in the game on fourth down, 2-point conversion twice and 2 touchdown drives in a row. He's trying to play ahead. He's trying to put his team ahead, and he's trying to be aggressive in these situations. It's the Aaron Glenn Lions Detroit style of Dan Campbell's going to go for it, and he's going to try and put his team ahead always and early and often and be the aggressor and let their defense hopefully make a play, which again, you kind of have to give credit to the Jets defense at the end, which was a really bad day from this Jets defense. They got a really good stop there from Joe Flacco, who only needed a field goal. And I don't know what the hell they're doing on 2nd and 10, running the ball on a running, look like a read option run or whatever. But I don't understand that play call from the Bengals. I think that Zach Taylor is a bum of a head coach, to be honest with you. And I think his days are numbered in Cincinnati. It just doesn't look great right now. But besides the point, Aaron Glenn was very aggressive. A lot of play calls going for it on fourth down, going for it in 2 multiple times. They put the Jets ahead in their situation 39-38. What I thought was a really bad start to the game for the Jets and Aaron Glenn turned out to be a very good win for Aaron Glenn and his first win as an NFL head coach.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you needed that stop at the end, because if Cincinnati scored on that last drive, kick the field goal, I'm saying, and won the game that way, I mean, any good vibes that you had from what you did offensively would completely go out the drain. I mean, we're talking today about, or right now, we're going to be talking about how bad that Jets defense was, about how many missed tackles that Jets defense had, about how our safeties are biting on plays and not being able to, get in the right coverages, etc. That's not the conversation right now. Winning solves everything. That's the whole point. If you win, we're not talking, because we can go into details, and if you want, we can, about how atrocious that defense looked, especially against the run for 3 quarters of the game, or 3.5 quarters. What the hell was going on there? But we're not, putting a spotlight on that, because they won the football game. And that's all that matters in football, man.
Yeah, how about that? The Jets finally have an offense that puts together a win for them. Like I said, I think fans are going to realize this hopefully tonight or tomorrow. The Jets scored 23 points in the fourth quarter. When's the last time the Jets scored 23 points in the fourth quarter, Frankie, from a come-from-behind victory? They were down 2 scores going to the fourth quarter, and the Jets were able to respond every single time that the defense gave up a touchdown to the Bengals. The Jets just marched right down the field with Justin Fields, Breece Hall, Isaiah Davis, and they just made play after play after play. Look, Fields balled out today, and he deserves the game ball today. Maybe Breece as well, but that is impressive. I can't overstate that. That is impressive, considering all the critique and criticism, and he was going to be benched. People need to understand this. If Tyrod wasn't banged up with a knee injury, Justin Fields is not playing today. He's not starting.
Good point.
So the fact that he got the ball and they said, go ahead, go get him, and he did, credit to him, man. Credit to Justin Fields. We were all hard on him, and we, deservedly so, because of how bad the play has been. Look, the Jets went 2 games without scoring a touchdown offensively, but they came into today and they responded, and that's what's impressive.
Yeah, man. And listen, there's people out there. I'm on the timeline and I'm seeing people talking about, why are you rooting for wins, etc. Listen, you needed to win a damn football game. That's it. They needed to win.
Today they needed to win. Today they needed to win.
To win 100%, especially with the Mangold earlier. The Jets were in the dumps today. Give them a win. We're still first in tankathon for all the tankers out there, so don't worry about it. We're going to be picking in the top 3 or 4. But they needed a win today, and the way they won is what I'm looking at as something positive moving forward. I like the fact that we have an offense that's able to utilize Breece Hall. I like that we were able to have over 500 yards of offense without our best receiver and probably our best player on offense on the field. That's something exciting to look forward to. And you're doing that with Justin Fields, who still has issues passing the football. But when you put together a proper game plan and he's confident, and let's not forget, everyone, that offensive line today was fantastic. Justin Fields wasn't sacked. That O-line was awesome today. They stopped everything. Trey Hendrickson, who was dealing with some injuries, granted, was invisible the whole game, right? So shout outs to the Jets offensive line. No pressures, no sacks, running down their throats. There's lanes up the middle. There's lanes on the outside. It's something to look forward to. Now you look forward, and if you bring in a good quarterback here and you could keep Fields around potentially, things are starting to make a little bit of sense. That's all you can do right now. You were 0-7, now you're 1-7. All you can do is start building into a product that makes sense. Last year, it never made sense, even when we were, 2-1 or whatever. Like, I didn't see a real light at the end of the tunnel outside of that season. Now you're starting to see we got the O-line. Maybe they extend Brees. You got Garrett here. You got this Tanner guy here. You got Mason Taylor you just drafted. Things are starting to shape, and I'm talking about the offense only. But that's really our biggest issue for the last 5-10 years is we're not able to score points. Today, the offense is on the sideline, and shout outs to you, Ryan. You called it. Ryan, everyone called it before the fourth quarter. He goes, they're winning this game. I go, all right. But when you say that, it usually happens. I think you're like 4-5 in those calls. So I'll give you credit. The offense was licking their chops wanting to get on the field. If that offense had 10 more drives, they're scoring 8 out of those 10 drives.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
It looked great. Again, like you said, the play designs were awesome. The running the ball, it was just awesome. Isaiah Davis, how about him today? I retweeted this from Will Parkinson. I do want to give him credit for this. Brees Hall and Isaiah Davis today combined 25 carries, 198 yards rushing, and 2 rushing touchdowns, 7 catches for 58 yards, and 1 passing touchdown from Brees. That is a statement from Isaiah Davis and Brees Hall, who are just absolute beasts today and help lead this offense with Justin Fields, who helped complete a lot of good balls to guys, especially on third down. Justin was really, really good. I think overall, and I do want to mention this because I want to look at the team stats here. Justin on the day on third down, what was the Jets' efficiency? Jets were 7 for 15 on third down. Again, really that's good. Almost 50% conversion on third down. That's impressive. That's
2
good.
for 3 on fourth down.
Yeah, 2 for 3 on fourth down. So like, again, I'm not willing to go to the extremes like Frankie was just there and say you could see the pieces. I still think they have a lot to work on. I need consistency to be the first thing. But I will say this. It was dreadful the last 2 weeks watching this football team. It wasn't football. The Jets were playing a different sport. But the fact that they went through this week of the owner calling out the quarterback, and the quarterback's supposed to be benched, and then the guy who's going to start gets hurt, and then this guy who's been critiqued by the owner comes back in, and he's going to start the game, and he comes and balls out, and Brees Hall balls out, gets his first touchdown, then his second touchdown of the season, and then throws a dime to the guy that Frankie hates in Mason Taylor.
Oh, give me a break.
That's a great catch. Come on, that was a great catch.
Taylor. I don't want to draft him that high. It's okay. Now we got him. I'll be okay.
Mason Taylor looked good today, man.
He looked good. He looked good. Going back to Isaiah Davis' point, he had 109 total yards today. I've been waiting for Isaiah Davis to have a game like this. I'm like, he's going to do it soon. And that's another piece in your offense that you could throw out there. Now, next week, teams are going to have to look at what the Jets are doing, and they're going to look at this Isaiah Davis kid, and that helps Brees Hall. That helps Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor now, having a decent game. That'll help everybody out. You just need pieces on that offense that opposing defenses are going to come in and say, damn, we got to worry about that guy when he's on the field. So this is a breakout game for Isaiah Davis. I think it's a breakout game for this Jets offense outside of the quarterback. I don't know what Fields will give us on a week in and week out, but this offense today, I'm telling you, Rye, when we look at that all 22 tomorrow, we're going to be stunned. There were misdirection. There were crossers. There were great patterns. There was just the way they were doing play action. That play Ruckert had where he's faking that down block and then he slips right out across the middle. He was waiting for that field. Fields just back in the pocket. He's bang, easy. No one's around him. That was a clinic offensively, man. That was a clinic on offense. And they all deserve credit. I'm not just going to give Tanner credit. I want to. But that was a clinic. And I love that shit. I love that. There is nothing more I love than watching an offense like that. As bad as the defense was, I'm fine not even mentioning the defense right now. We should be having a parade that the Jets offense finally looked like A 2025 NFL offense. We're in the 21st century, everyone, finally. Seriously.
I
Let's
completely
go.
agree. Listen, Valerie says it's great to see you guys happy. Yeah, it's nice to be happy. It's nice to finally win a game, Valerie. This Jets team has been misery all year, but now we
Our
finally got a
preview
win.
show was like a funeral. I don't think either of us.
My God.
What do we do?
Coach Glenn spoke after the game about Nick Mangold and his passing. He said he was the heart and soul of this team. And that's all you really got to say about what Nick Mangold represents and represented for this Jets franchise. They really did win this game today for him. It felt like it. And that's why it's just so nice and emotional to see the Jets finally get their first win of the season, for us to be excited. I'm not going to pound my chest and say this is the team that is going to be all season long. But for them to go into the bye week, Frankie, with a win, they get to have at least another extra week of feeling good. Maybe get Garrett and Sauce back healthy. And then let's see what happens against the Cleveland Browns. Maybe he can reel off a second win of the season. That'd be nice, huh?
Yes, sir. I think Aaron Glenn should come out. I don't know if he said this, but he's like, hey, are you proud now? You proud of that? No, I'm kidding. Hey, man, the Jets overcame a ton of odds today in this game. I mean, I brought up they had a 97.5% chance to win Cincinnati in the fourth quarter. The way that the Jets stuck to their guns on offense, stuck to their game plan, they didn't necessarily try to do too much, I think, offensively. Like, they really spread the ball around. Isaiah Williams, by the way, that kid had some nice plays today. That kid looked damn good. He didn't, he had 3 catches for 31 yards. He had a 25-yard run. He looked good in the return game. But, like, he did some things today where I'm like, that kid wanted to win out there.
Yeah.
He looked good, man. Ruckert had a nice play. Arian Smith caught a 23-yard ball. Like, this game had everyone involved. Tyler Johnson, Isaiah Davis, Mason Taylor. Obviously, Brees carried this team on his back. Justin Fields was a cog in an offense today and played confidently and delivered on third down, like you said, delivered on fourth down, delivered on that 2-point conversion. This was what we needed to see from a Jets offense. Now, the defense, I don't know what the hell was going on, but I'm not going to harp too much on it. But it was, Ryan, I'm sure you want to talk about this. It was alarming that we couldn't stop the run today. I mean, we cannot hide the fact that, Cincinnati had 181 rushing yards today, almost 8 yards a carry, 3 rushing touchdowns. Chase Brown looked like Reggie Bush at USC at a point in the game. And Flacco was lighting us up a bit in the first half. But hey, man, what's the phrase? You pull your bootstraps up, and then you get to work when it counts. And when it did count at the end, the Jets defense made plays. Will McDonald had a sack late in the game, which was nice. Being relentless to the ball is always a good idea in football. You never know. And then we got to stop at the end of the game. And we almost had a few picks today. You saw the ball up there a few times where literally we can never get a pick, man. We still haven't gotten one this year. I thought today was going to be the day. You said it too. You're like, watch them get a pick soon, and they almost did, to their credit.
Yeah.
And when they needed to stop Cincy Ride, they did.
They got the stop at the end. They got the stop at the end, Frankie. That was the
last 2 drives.
Stop. How many times do we watch the Jets, only including this year, week 1? And how many times last year do we watch this defense not come up with the stop when they needed to at the end of the game, when they had the chance? So that gives them, you give them credit for that. I do want to bring this up because I'm following on social media. Peter Schrager, who's a great reporter here for the NFL, been around the game for a long time, been around the Jets a long time. He said, I'm told the Jets post-game locker room scene was an incredible one just now. Jubilant, emotional. The day started hard with the news of Mangold. He was beloved. The team responded and found a way. Special day. So you could tell, Frankie, that these guys, not only did they want to win this game for Nick Mangold, they wanted to win this game for Aaron Glenn. There's a lot of great effort today. And like you said at the beginning of that part right there, where you just said they were counted out. They had no chance heading into this game today. I mean, they literally had no chance. And wow, just an awesome, awesome game for the Jets to win their first of the season. And look, to respond on what you said about the Jets defense here, Sherwood gets benched to start the game. I'm sure we'll find out here what exactly happened and led to the benching of Sherwood on the first couple drives. So it's interesting. They ran the hell out of the football on the Jets defense again. Giving up 38 points is never good in an NFL game. Let's be real. But 181 yards rushing for the Bengals. Samaje Perine was averaging 10.4 yards a carry.
Jeez.
Chase Brown was averaging 6.1 himself. Joe Flacco had 2 runs for 14 yards himself. So, look, it wasn't good, all things considered, for the Jets defense. But when you had to get the key stop at the end with the lead, the Jets did it.
Yep, they did. And that's all that counts. Winning solves everything. But back to the defense really quick, Rye. The most disappointing part of the defense today wasn't even the linebackers. It was a defensive line. Where was Quinnen today? Where was Harrison Phillips? What were these guys doing up front? That Cincy offensive line isn't anything special. Coming into the game, they were ranked 30th against the pass in pass blocking by PFF. Where were they today? I want to, I want to see more. I mean, all we saw from Quinnen today was when he jumped off sides in that 3rd and 4 that ended up becoming, a touchdown drive for Cincy. It happens. I'm not harping on one play like that or one penalty. It's fine. But I want to see more from that defensive line. I thought they sort of disappeared. Jermaine really wasn't really anywhere to be found today outside of that Will McDonald sack, which was an elongated, a coverage sack. It wasn't really, in the backfield. So this defensive line has to get after it a bit more. They've been a little bit, they've been disappearing too much.
I mean, they haven't got much pressures in the last couple of games. They haven't really sacked the quarterback. They haven't gotten much pressures.
Games, yeah.
But look, even Brian Costello was tweeting there were loud cheers from the Jets locker room after the game today. I mean, clearly this was a big one for them. And hopefully this can propel them going forward and get some momentum building for this team. Find that culture, find that winning formula, get it going. And you know what the winning formula was today, Frankie? It was running the football.
Yes, sir.
Run the freaking ball. That is what their winning formula is. And that's what it felt like they got away from so much in these previous weeks, including the last 2. They just didn't run the ball well. And they didn't run the ball with Brees in key situations, in my opinion. And today they actually said, you know what, we're going to get the ball to Brees early and often. And then we're going to use Isaiah Davis in key passing situations. That's how you win a football game, man. I'm telling you, it's not that hard. I know the Bengals defense is really, really not that good, but you had to take advantage of this defense, and they did. 500 yards of offense for the Jets offense today. It's really, really good to see that. Just continue to pound the rock. That is how you're going to win football games. Lean on Brees, lean on Isaiah Davis. And look, Justin Fields had 11 carries today too. Some of them were scrambles, not just design runs. So they just said. They got to run the ball, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 37 carries they had today, right? And if you remember games earlier in the season or throughout the season where the Jets were driving the ball early on and then they commit a stupid penalty or have a bad turnover, it would sort of get the wind out of their sail. But they were doing that on the backbone of the run game. Then they go down and then they start wanting to pass the ball a bit too much, or Fields takes some bad sacks and everything sort of unravels. Today, it didn't. They stuck to their guns. They didn't turn the ball over, which helps. So you don't give them really an easy score back or put them in good field position. I mean, since he had to put drives together, to their credit, they did for a lot of the game, but not when it counted. It was too much. That's what you have to do. If you don't turn the ball over and you run like you're saying consistently, you're going to control the clock. You're not going to put them in great field position. You're going to have to force their offense to really make plays all game. And it's tough to make plays every single quarter. They did it for 3. They didn't do it for 4 quarters, Cincy. And the Jets offense did exactly what they needed to do to win this game. I really like the formula today. The formula to win or score points on offense was actually there today, and we saw it from start to finish. Every game we saw this formula try to start. The game plan would start, and then Braylon Allen would fumble. And then somebody would, have a bad false start in the red zone, or you wouldn't be able to put together a touchdown drive. Today, everything sort of finally worked. And they almost put up 40 points because of it.
Yeah, look, this should encapsulate everything about Nick Mangold and the passing of him today. The Jets offensive line, the young core, Joe Tippmann, 0 pressures, 0 hits, 0 hurries, 93.2 in pass pro effectiveness grade. Olu Fashanu, 0 pressures, 0 hits, 0 hurries, 87.8 effectiveness in pass pro. Rookie Armand Membu, 0 pressures, 0 hits, 0 hurries, 84.7 pass pro effectiveness. That Jets offensive line ate today, and that is just amazing to see, considering the way, again, the day started with the news of Nick Mangold passing. that's just friggin' awesome, man. That the Jets offensive line was dominant today.
Love that. Perfectly said, man. Yeah. Yeah. They really played for Nick today. They really did. There was a different energy about this team today. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be something that we're going to see throughout the season, but you gotta love a football win like this. I don't care what you expected today. I don't care if you were rooting for a loss. This is a win that the Jets, like we said earlier, they needed. And they did it, ironically, behind the offense and the offensive line more specifically. This game was won probably by the offensive line. The more you're talking about those numbers, without that offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage, they controlled the line of scrimmage today. They gave Fields as much time as he wanted. He didn't take a sack. And you know that guy, he takes more sacks than most quarterbacks in NFL history. He's top 5 in sack rate, Justin Fields. Literally, for guys with like a minimum of 30 starts, he's top 5 all time in sack rate. He wasn't sacked today. The running game, they could do whatever they want. Isaiah Davis, here you go, 50 yards. Brees all day. Get what you need, kid. Even Fields, like you were saying, had some nice runs. Yeah, man.
The 2
points. It was a special day. It was a cool day for the Jets. They needed really something like this.
Well said. It was a special day today. Yeah, man. Even the Fields 2-point conversion run, like I said before, like that was an awesome play. That's just Justin Fields making a play that only Justin Fields can make, scrambling out of the pocket, makes the defenders. I mean, he juked them out and then he bolted to the corner of the end zone. Brees on the second touchdown run, keeping his feet in bounds. Frankie, that was really impressive. Like, just fun watch football. It's fun to watch an offense actually operate, you know. I know, like my words are like hard to come out right now because it's like you're not used to it and you like seeing it and you're just like, can you emulate more of that? I'm not asking for 39 points a game, but like just look like an NFL offense, like you said, and just be in the modern NFL, you know, run the ball well, have some cool play action concepts. Have Justin use design runs with his legs. Use Brees and Isaiah in the passing game, especially with Garrett Wilson out. That's and Tyler Johnson today. How about him today? Let's talk about him a little bit. Dude, 3 catches, 64 yards. He had the touchdown catch. Beautiful pass from Justin. He takes the blitz from the right side. Defender in his face, takes the hit, and lays the ball perfectly in for Tyler Johnson on that touchdown. That was a nice game from him today.
Very nice game, and no drops for him. No real drops for the offense today. Maybe a drop I saw. Maybe Mason Taylor had a drop at some point in the game, but that was about it. No, Tyler Johnson had a nice little day for him, man. He did. He gave them too. I was noticing he actually stretched the defense out a little bit. He was opening things up underneath for the Isaiah Davis and Beck, etc., to kind of do some things underneath, which was nice. Like when you have a touchdown like that early in the game, the defense is looking at you. You know, you're not just some guy. You scored earlier. We got to kind of look your way. So doing that helps everybody else out on offense. Something that Nick Falk just said, by the way, just something to, pin it back to the Mangold situation. He was teammates with Nick Falk, and he just said through tears, he said at the end, he was there with us. So Nick Falk played with Nick Mangold. I think he's the only Jet on the roster. Actually, he is the only Jet on the roster that played with Nick Mangold. I think that includes coaches and everyone. So that was nice for him to say. And he said at the end he was there with us and on the backbone of the offensive line. Isn't it? It's poetic in a way. It's poetic. I didn't think the Jets were going to win today, especially that last touchdown drive by the Bengals. When they just ran literally the ball down our throats. We had a touchdown, 31-24. We're down 7. And then Cincy gets the ball back and they just run it down our throats. 7 plays, 73 yards in less than 4 minutes. They're up 38-24. Then we have a
down
2% chance, down 14 with around 9 and change left, less than 10 minutes left in the fourth. And we score. They punt, we score, and then we stop them on downs. And we win by a point.
Yeah,
and to Aaron Glenn's credit, he went for 2, and it worked.
Well, look, Frankie, before that touchdown to make it 38-32, because they did get the 2-point conversion there again, which again was very aggressive. The second 2-point conversion in a row. To Aaron Glenn's credit, look, he was down 31-16. They score a touchdown on the Brees Hall first touchdown run, and they get the 2-point conversion from the really, really nice Justin Fields play. So now you're down 31-24. Like Frankie said, 7 plays, 73 yards in less than 4 minutes. The Bengals go down the field and make it a 2-score game again. And now you're getting the ball back with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And you're like, this Jets offense, I don't know if they're going to keep pace with these guys. The key play was the 4th and 1, 24-yard pass to Jeremy Ruckert. The Jets lined up what looked like it was going to be either a run handoff to Brees or it was going to be a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
But you know what they do? They run a literal play action, and Jeremy Ruckert fakes the block to the right, leaks out to the left side, and he's wide open, and Justin's just hanging back there with great protection from the offensive line, and he dumps it off to him, and he goes for 24 yards. And then Brees, the very next play, 27-yard touchdown pass. You could tell the Bengals defense was reeling at that point. And then the key call that I think a lot of people that Frankie had talked about there, the Jets went for 2. Aaron Glenn decided to go for 2. You were down 14 before you scored that touchdown. They score a touchdown. At that point, Frankie, you're thinking about it, it's 38-30. And you're like, just kick the extra point. Make it 38-31. It's a 1-score game. You're in it. But no, he sticks with the analytics approach of going for the 2 early and often, as much as you can, to put yourself ahead in those late game situations. And Justin, like you said, extends the play. He literally, I don't know if you guys saw it, was like Patrick Mahomes-esque. He's falling down, his knees almost on the ground, throws the ball to Isaiah Davis, and the ball just barely crosses the goal line. And you're like, holy crap. And Glenn knew it, because as soon as he's like, take a look. He's looking at the scoreboard and he's like, yes, that's it. And he's freaking out because he's like,
yeah, you saw that.
We just converted another 2-point conversion. The analytics say we're in a very good spot. Even though we're down 6 at this point at 38-32, he loves the spot he's in. The Jets get a 3 and out. They sack Joe Flacco on 3rd down. And then it's like, you know what? Here we go. We're going to get the ball back to our offense. 9 plays, 58 yards. They go down the field. The 23-yard pass, first down pass, the 23-yard pass to Arian Smith, the first on that drive, Frankie. And then they set up a run to Brees Hall. Then they get another pass to Isaiah Williams. Brees Hall again. Justin Fields hits a run. Then you're talking about, again, just getting the ball to your running backs, Isaiah Davis. Then you got a 3-yard pass to Mason Taylor on 3rd and 2. Converts the first down. You got 1st and goal, and you're like, all right, you're at the 2-minute warning. What are the Jets going to do? And boom, we do a toss to Brees, and Brees takes the ball, boom, throws it to Mason Taylor in the corner, who makes an incredible touchdown catch. And because they went for 2 twice on the last 2 drives, they now kick the extra point, taking that 39-38 lead, which puts all the pressure back on the Bengals. It would have been a way different scenario if the Bengals had run that last drive, if it was a tie 38-38 game, Frankie. So this is where I think we kind of have to analyze Aaron Glenn as head coach. Wow, that's some motorcycles flying at Frankie's place over there.
He just pulled up. It's my Uber Eats driver. I paid the extra 99 cents, so it comes here faster. Sorry.
Man, so look, the point is, though, the fact that they went for 2 touchdown drives in a row and being the ultra aggressor there, and that the analytics say go for the 2, they are now up 39-38 to kick the ball off to the Bengals with, and how much time was left? 1:54. So they start their drive with 1:48 left, and the Bengals had, I think, all 3 touchdowns, right? But that's what you want to be. You want to be playing ahead. The Jets didn't play ahead until literally that point. Like, they were not ahead in this game. They finally get ahead into the end. And then, again, credit to Aaron Glenn. I thought this was clearly his best game of the entire season.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is, you know who had a pretty good game today? I think A.Z. Thomas did. Because outside of that one deep ball to T. Higgins.
I don't even blame Thomas for that, though.
Yeah. Yes.
Malachi Moore bit on the play action.
Absolutely. That was a great play call by Cincinnati. You're putting A.Z. Thomas in a bad spot there. But, Ryan, that was T. Higgins' only catch of the day, was that 44-yarder. Now, you came into today's game. If I told you that Jamar Chase had 91 yards and didn't have a touchdown, and T. Higgins at 44 yards, did score a touchdown, but you would say, nah, the one's going to have over 100 and the other one will have 70 or 80 yards, and you're going to have almost 200 yards between both of them. You didn't. They didn't combine for 150 yards. Now, I know 91 yards is good, and then you have a deep ball, with a 44-yarder, but T. Higgins didn't really eat us up much at all today. Because on that last drive, I was getting worried. I'm like, he hasn't been targeted much today. Only was targeted twice. And, I hope they're not going to look his way. And maybe they tried to. I'll look at the all 22 tomorrow. But A.Z. Thomas, man, had a good day. I think the corners played pretty solid. The linebackers were the issue today. The safeties had some issues tackling.
Oh my God.
Today.
The missed tackles from Moore and Cisco were horrendous today.
Yeah. We got to give some flowers to Brandon Stevens and A.Z. Thomas. Brandon Stevens had some nice plays. And the corners on the outside neutralized those pass catchers.
Frankie's giving his flowers out to the corners here?
Yeah, I was going to give it to Isaiah Williams, but I'll give it to the corners. I'm going to give it to the corners, the cornerback room. Shout outs because Sauce Gardner didn't play today. And everyone thought that they were going to eat us alive, Chase and Higgins. And they had a good game, I'd say, but they didn't eat us alive. They didn't win us the game. And on that last drive, I thought they were going to be the ones to put them in field goal range, and they weren't. So you got to give Brandon Stevens and A.Z. Thomas a lot of credit today. I thought those guys, out of everyone on defense, those two were the most impressive ones to me.
Couldn't agree more. Look, the safeties are an issue for this Jets team. Malachi Moore is very young. He's going to learn. He's going to make mistakes like he did today on the T. Higgins touchdown. He can't be biting on the play action bootleg for a naked boot from Joe Flacco. Listen, he's not going to be looking to run the ball. And also you don't jump up on the tight end crosser or the slot receiver crosser. You got to stay home, buddy. And T. Higgins one-on-one, Joe Flacco will take that matchup every single time against another rookie in Thomas, who again, I think went through it today, but played solid, not great. Jamar Chase's stat line was still pretty ridiculous, but it's hard to stop Jamar Chase, in any game. But I got to give my flowers to Frankie. I'm going to say it to the guy before you just said the corners. It's Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn getting his first win of the season.
No way.
Yep. Getting your first win of the season.
I like it.
First win of his career. First win of the season. All the criticism he's gotten, including by myself, who has called for his firing already. We have been told by Brian Costello, slow your roll on that talk. That's not happening. He's the highest paid Jets coach probably ever. Woody Johnson's not going to fire a coach after one season. They were never going 0-17, like Frankie said earlier in this show. It has to go. You have to give credit to him, though. He was aggressive. He made adjustments. Defensively, they're still an issue, but the offense really, really responded. And let's be real. When Aaron Glenn talked, they said he yelled on the sideline towards Hunter Engstrand, throwing his arms up, and he's like, let's go, get it going. They really got it going after that. So
it's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
I think maybe that sparked them a little bit to like get out of this funk, guys. Like, just let's go play some football. So I'll give my flowers to Aaron Glenn.
Man, I like it. Aaron Glenn needed today. And for the most part, I think maybe he outcoached Zach Taylor.
Oh, he did. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe he did. He didn't really he didn't get away from what he wanted to do today. He wanted to go for it on fourth down, and he did for the most part. He wanted to go for it on two, and he did. He got the offense moving. It was a good job by Aaron Glenn. It's got to call a spade a spade. I know there's going to be people out there that they have agendas, anti-Aaron Glenn, and let's get rid of him. And, that's fine, but don't always keep that energy every single time this guy goes out there and coaches. If he does a good job, give him some credit. So you got to give him credit today. And that's that. I like your flowers that you gave it to Aaron Glenn. I appreciate that because I'm sure a lot of people are going to look elsewhere and give the head coach his due.
He had to get it today for him. Final thoughts, Frankie. Jets getting their first win of the season against the Bengals, 39-38, 500 yards of offense. They've only done it twice since 2018. The other time, like we said, was the Mike White game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Final thoughts for you, though, for this Jets team getting their first win of the season.
Man, my final thoughts are we got ourselves an offensive coordinator, everyone. That's my final thoughts. I'm not sure what else is going to happen here, but I am confident that Tanner Engstrand is going to be somebody that can stay here for a few years and put together an offense somewhat like we saw today, and hopefully always like we saw today. Today's offense was nearly perfect. Let's just call a spade a spade. Nobody had a game with Justin Fields like he did today. Justin Fields won a game, everyone, by the way, where an opposing team scored over 21 points. He broke his own record. He was coming in 0-28 or 0-29? Not anymore. Not anymore. They didn't score over 21 points. They almost scored 40 points, and Justin Fields won that game. So Justin Fields has never won a game like this, Ryan, in his NFL career, has won a game that a team scored over 21 points. They scored 38 points, and we still won the game. And I'm going to give him credit as well. Justin, what you had to go through, I'm sure, is rough. Guy's a big man of faith. Give him some credit because he talks about it all the time. He's been down in the dumps in his career and, going and then, being a big believer in God and the Bible and Jesus, etc. He talks about that stuff. Man, he got knocked down as many times as you could these last couple of weeks, and he got right up today, and he shined today, and good for him.
Yep, good for him. Good for the Jets. Good for Aaron Glenn. They get their first win of the season, like I said, running the hell out of the football. Fields was effective when he needed to be, made some key passes when he needed to Reynolds, to Williams and to Tyler Johnson and to Mason Taylor, who had a really nice catch. That touchdown catch, I still can't get over. He mossed the defender. It was an incredible catch in the back of the end zone. Breece Hall. Oof, I might be dialing up more passes for Breece Hall, to be honest with you. If the Jets
our red zone quarterback.
Hey, I'm in. Dial me in, coach. Give me some more running back passes from Breece Hall. He threw a dime in the corner of the end zone.
But do you see throwing a pass like that? In a few weeks we have our bye. In a few weeks, maybe you put Breece Hall on the goal line in a wildcat formation. Maybe he dumps it over. The defense might think that they know it's on.
Well, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Now I like it, Frankie. I like it. Post-game celebration from Rich Samini says Christopher Johnson presented Aaron Glenn with the game ball to a raucous cheers. Defensive tackle Harrison Phillips picked up Glenn with such gusto that it prompted laughs from players celebrating in the locker room. That's awesome.
Why wasn't Woody in there?
Yeah, well, I don't think Woody went to this game. It sounded like Christopher was the only one there. Look, this was awesome. This was fun. This was great to see the Jets come out with a victory today. It's hard to do this when they don't win, and they continue to find new ways, like Frankie said, find rock bottom and beat us down as fans. But now we get to go in the bye week, enjoy a little extra rest and relaxation and enjoying this win. But this is the Gangs All Here post-game live show on what again was a tough start to today and Sunday with the passing of Nick Mangold. It was just great to see the Jets come back, score 23 points in the fourth quarter, and put together and just awesome first win of the year. Frankie, appreciate you, buddy, as always, for doing this for me.
Appreciate you, my man. You're the best.
Yeah, man. We're going to be doing this again in a couple weeks. We'll catch everyone after the bye week. We'll be back on for more content here on the New York Post Sports YouTube channel. Please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm noticing a trend here, Frankie. 70% of our viewers are non-subscribers to our YouTube channel. We need to fix that.
Come on.
Subscribe, people. Subscribe. It's a click of the button. That's it. It doesn't cost you a dime. All it does is just make me happy. I just want you guys to make me happy. Make Frankie happy. He wants to see you guys subscribe.
Please subscribe. You can
subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here all week. Frankie and I will be doing some draft coverage probably coming up here. We'll talk to Kaz tomorrow about his thoughts on the win. But the Jets get their first win of the season, 39-38 over the Cincinnati Bengals. For Ryan Sampson, for Frankie Vittorini from U Stadium, this is Gangs All Here post-game live show. Go Jets.